Welcome to your online strength coach podcast, episode 31, when to use a belt during squat. Hello and welcome to episode 31 of your online strength coach podcast, daily uncle's mother's edition. That joke's got to be wearing thin by now, I'd imagine. Again, been trolling the bodybuilding.com forums for some topics, or some fodder, for some questions. And I am now on the powerlifting and strongman forums, which surprisingly are actually fairly terrible for questions. I don't get too many of them. Probably fairly sick of questions at this stage. It is a very popular forum. Belt or no belt for squats is the title of the thread. Nom Theorisy NOM 3 RCY Strong Illuminati username there, brah. Not entirely sure how that's pronounced. Probably something really fucking obvious that I'm not picking up on. What do you guys think about it? I'm working with 3x5 and 5x5. I notice a lot of lower back pain when I'm at the bottom of my squat low bar. I haven't squatted in a few weeks just because I'm so sick of it. Anyone else got this problem? Also, does it really weaken your core if you use a belt? Okay, so first and foremost, if you're receiving pain, lower back pain at the bottom of the squat, it's probably something to do with your form. So the first thing that you need to do is take a video from the side, from the back, and from the front, working with a reasonable weight, so like 75% of your 1 rep max. And just have a look back at the video and look for key things. I mean, the main thing if you're feeling lower back pain will be rounding of the low or so butt wink, as it's known. So as you hit the kind of the bottom of the squat, how much does your pelvis deform? Does your pelvis tuck under? Do you get a lot of rounding of the lower back? How upright are you? I know it's a low bar squat, but it doesn't mean you should be parallel to the floor at the bottom. So if you have a lot of forward lean and perhaps you have a bit of a crook through the middle of your back, you're taking a lot of load through there, as the muscles surrounding the bend in the back are going to have to work very difficult, very difficult, work very hard to produce a concentric effort to stop you buckling at that part of your spine. You really need to achieve like a neutral, if not a bit of an arch in the lower back during the entirety of the lift. So certainly what you need to be doing from the sounds of what you're saying is have a look at your form. I doubt there's nothing to do with the lift. Lower back squats should probably not really give you much, certainly shouldn't give you pain through the lower back. You probably shouldn't even feel that you're working very hard through the lower back on a back squat. Maybe you probably will feel like you're working a little bit more in a low bar squat. But my feeling is you're probably just squatting with poor form from the sounds of things. You could try some high bar squats, see how you get on with that. There's no particular reason why you have to do low bar squat. It might be that you're not really built for that movement. Could be fairly likely you're not built for that movement. Low bar squats certainly isn't for everyone. I'd say most people's proportions are probably more suited towards a kind of a high bar squat, or not, if not a high bar squat, kind of more of a normal squat, or what might look like a high bar squat with a lower bar position. Is what most people tend to take, like a bit of a medium stance. Of course, you want to maintain your trunk neutral throughout the lift, and there's no real need for a huge amount of forward lean unless you're predisposed to squat like that and can squat a lot of weight that way, in which case you'll know about it and you should seek the lift like that. So I try different squat styles as well. Certainly the belt's not the answer. All the belt's going to do is the belt's just going to mask what's wrong with your form. So let's say, for example, you have a large amount of forward lean with your squat, and you're rounding at L4, your lumbar 4 in your spine. What you could do with the belt is you could put the belt over L4, and that will make that part of your body, or make that part of you during the lift a lot more structurally secure, which will in turn allow you to lift heavier loads, or the same loads with much less effort. But all you're doing is masking poor technique. So should you use the belt in your training? Absolutely. Should you use it to mask what's probably a form problem? Absolutely not. Either get an experienced lifter to look at you lifting. If you don't have access to an experienced lifter or a trainer that you trust, then certainly video from the side, the back, and the front, and you'll get an idea of what you look like while you're lifting. So definitely look at your form and address any issues that there are there, because I have a feeling that's what it is. Also, you might find that you've poor muscular endurance in your trunk, which can also be a predisposer to lower back pain. So that's things like hyper holds out of like a glute ham bench, so just holding yourself in that top range of the hyper position, plank, side plank, and also a bit more of like a lower back strengthening program where you do things like reverse hypers, hyper extensions, weighted hyper extensions, weighted holds out of the glute ham, both for you can do like an abdominal hold as well, holding the like kind of a neutral setup position. All of these things will help with trunk endurance, strength endurance, which will help a lot with lower back pain. That much I can guarantee you. And also, does wearing the belt weaken your core? No, absolutely not. All it does is it increases intra-abdominal pressure. It's actually been shown in an EMG study that actually increases slightly the activation of the erector spinae and of the rectus abdominal, which would show that it actually increases the activity relatively of the trunk or the core. So no, it doesn't weaken your core. It just means you lift more weight because it shores up the structure of your trunk, and means you can maintain integrity through your trunk with heavier loads. This means you lift more weight. It's pretty much that straightforward. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll post it up on the forum or on the thread, of course. Any questions you like answered? Any topics you'd like to hear me rambling about? Send me an email, speedpowerperformance@gmail.com. Hit me up on Facebook, Natty Gains, or castironstrength.com, or Cast Iron Strength Facebook. As always, you can leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on Wednesday. Hope you have a good start to your week. Till next time, this is Mark signing out. Goodbye.